Okay, thanks for watching Ty's Rides. All right, so today I'm working on a customer friend or whatever, 1994 Honda Accord. What happened was the car was parked outside and someone attempted to steal it. So what they did was they jammed whatever tool, I'm assuming a screwdriver, into the lock cylinder, tried to pop this. I'm actually just kind of holding it up and kind of just messed it all up. There's no way to put a key in there now and actually make it work. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to change the whole assembly. Now the assembly comes with the lock cylinder, the ignition switch, and it also comes with a key already in there. That's how you can buy it. I think you can get these at O'Reilly or probably any auto parts store for, I think this one customer paid probably like $42 or so. And so that's what got all messed up, and that's what we're going to have to replace. But it's coming as a total kit, which is probably good anyways. It even actually comes with the wire assembly. And so we're just going to switch that out. Now, what you will usually find is someone's key gets stuck or it stops working properly where you can't turn the key, or you could pull it out while the vehicle is still running. That means it's all messed up in there. It's not doing its job the way it's supposed to. Well, that's not the case here. What they've done is destroyed the outside of this person's steering column. So usually what you would do, I'm gonna just go ahead and pull this off because it's not really attached anyways anymore. In order to totally pull it off, typically what you're gonna have to do is unscrew a few screws that are holding it up. In this case, we're not gonna have to do that for the simple fact that I already started disassembling it and they tore up majority of it in the first place. Sorry about that. The delivery truck driving by. My apologies. Okay, so if you can see on this side of it, you have one. Put it down there, it's easier to see. You're gonna have 1, 2, 3 screws holding this up right here. And so you're just gonna have to unscrew that, and in order to drop it down and pull it off, you have to use the steering column adjustment lever, put it down, and just slide it right off. So that's pretty much the simple part. Once you get into here, I'm actually going to take the top part off too. You have to just snap them apart, assuming that yours is not all torn up. So this is the top portion of it. We'll put that off to the side. So this is what you're going to see in the steering column. Now, I already started unplugging it. You'll see a plug right here that you'll have to take off, and you just press this and pull it off. Same thing on this side. You'll see a plug right here. You'll press this, pull it off, and that'll get this out of the way. And then off to the side right here, you will see this, which should be attached in here. This surrounds this ignition cylinder. You can see it over there. It's usually attached to here and has a covering on it and everything, and then there's this green plug that goes to the back. Well, this is all messed up anyways because they jacked that up, and then here's the plug. So we have that pulled off to the side. Then towards the back here, you'll see another plug, and you're going to pull that off as well. So now, if you can see, we have this one, and then we have this harness with these 2 plugs on it. So those are now detached. A lot of people have trouble when it comes to this part. Honda makes it where the ignition switch assembly is screwed on with shear bolts, and what that basically does is on the new one you will see they're like 8 millimeter heads on those bolts. Well, once you torque it to a certain torque, those bolts will come off. The tip, the head of it will come off by itself once you torqued it properly. And so that's a safety feature. After that, you'll see the head that looks like this. Let's see if it'll focus. It'll look like this, flat, like what's going on right here. And some people are like, well, how am I supposed to get it off? It's actually a very soft metal. I'm sorry if that's not focusing totally correct, but it's a soft metal. And I've already actually taken this side off already. What you're going to have to do, you have a few choices. You can actually drill into the tip of this, or your other option is to use a flathead screwdriver and tap it so that there is a groove across, and then you'll be able to stick the flathead screwdriver in there and just use it as though it was meant for that. I did a combination of two. I used the flathead screwdriver, and I also used a center punch. So I took the center punch and I made an indentation to the head of the shear bolt, and I got a real good indentation. And then I use that indentation, as a lever, for leverage, and I just tapped it. And as I tapped it, it just kind of circled around, circle until it unscrewed. Then I was able to get it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna work on this side, and I need both my hands, but that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna put it up to there, put a good indentation on it, and then slowly tap it, and it'll circle around. I'll take this side out, and then I'll be right back with you. You know what? I changed my mind. Actually, I'm not taking off the second bolt because I don't need to. So what I did instead, since I took that first one off, I left the second one on, and this part right here that was wrapped around the steering column, I just pried it up. It's quicker, because that's what I'm trying to get to anyways, just taking it off, and I'm not reusing any of this stuff, so there's no point of trying to mess around with it. But yeah, that's how you would originally do it. If you see on here, there's this little button right here. When you reassemble it, you're gonna have to make sure that's lined up correctly so it pops into place. So that's what we're looking at right now. Totally messed up ignition switch assembly. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the new one back on and line it back up. Okay, so now I have the new assembly on. I have not torqued it down yet. That's why the 8mm bolt heads are still on the shear bolts. But since this assembly came with a new wiring harness, you have a choice. You don't have to use the new wire harness if you want to just use your old one, but it's really not that difficult to use the new one. So the old one is still attached. In order for me to get that off, I took the basically the under dash, the knee bump portion off the cover, and now I'm going to actually end up taking the metal part of that off too. If you notice, there's 1, 2 bolts there, and then the same on the other side. They're 10mm bolts. I'm just going to remove those, and it'll give me access to the plug, which is kind of up by the fuse box area, tucked under there, and I'll give you guys a view of that. Let me go ahead and take this off, and I'll get back with you. Alright, so I unloosened this, and I unloosened the other side, and I actually just dropped it out of the way. I don't need to remove it all the way. The old wire harness is going to be attached to this whole little bracket right here. I mean this, sorry, wire tie or something, whatever you want to call it. It's early. All you need to do to get that off is to lift this, and they come separate, they come apart. You can use that again when you tie the new one into it, or you can use zip tie. It won't matter either way, whichever route you want to take.